Hi everyone, this is Anna Finch from Finch Press Publishing. Hope everyone has had a good day. Now, today's video is a book review about One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus, I believe her name is. Now, this is not going to be a really good review because I really did not like this book. It was on my to-read list for the new year. Finally read it. Didn't really like it. I skipped a whole section because I was bored. Now, I don't have a copy of the book cover to show you. I'll try and put it on the screen now. But basically, the story is the way they present it in the cover and in the blurb. It's a murder mystery. It's a whodunit, basically. The jock, the nerd, the prom queen, the troublemaker. So you've given a group of 4 or 5 kids in a room, and one person dies. They have to work. They find out that it happens because of an allergic reaction, and someone purposely stole the EpiPens, and found a way to put peanut oil in the cup that the victim drank from. And when I read that first bit, so I read the first 10 chapters when I was on my break. This first part of it was interesting because I'm like, I hadn't read a book where that was basically murder by allergies. I've got severe allergic reactions, so I can see how effective that could be in real life. And the premise of murder by allergies was interesting, but I continued reading, and because it changed POV every chapter, or every couple of pages. Some of the chapters were like 2 pages long. So I kept on changing POV, and you're seeing some of the chapters. You're basically seeing the exact same thing, just from a different character's point of view. The plot or what's happening in the scene is the exact same, which is boring. I read first 10 chapters, got bored, put it down, couldn't be bothered reading it. The book was late because I was ill, so I couldn't return it. I was going to actually not finish it, but because I was ill, had nothing to do. I tried to read the next chapter 11, couldn't get into it, so I literally skipped to the end to find out what happened, because if it was interesting, I would have gone back and reread the whole thing. But no, I've read the ending and I was disappointed. I mean, you present it as a murder mystery. So I expect some sort of whodunit, like working out who killed it, and maybe you would have a couple of red herrings. It'll be interesting. But it's not murder. It's suicide by allergies, presented as a murder, and is used to try and get the other characters, or one of the other characters, thrown into jail. As like because the character didn't think shooting, and this is actually what it says in the book. The character who dies because of the allergies, and I can't even remember his name. That's how memorable the characters are. Did it because he didn't think mass shooting in a school was interesting enough. That's right. He didn't think shooting up a school was interesting enough. So he decided to commit suicide by allergies and frame people for murder and ruin a whole bunch of people's lives that way. Like, seriously? I mean, they present this character as like a dick, basically. They present him as like an asshole. He's spread gossip, he's published information and secrets about other key people in the school. And he's not that good of a person, but him wanting to commit suicide isn't kind of obvious in the start of the book. Because at the start of the book, it does look like a murder, and I get the point that, yeah, she wanted to make it look like a murder, so you could frame other people, but the twist where, I don't even know if it's supposed to be a twist, where it's the victim that did it all along. I picked it up to read a murder mystery, not a psycho framing a whole bunch of people for murder. If I wanted to read that, I would have read Gone Girl. Okay, or I would have watched the movie where the psycho woman frames her husband for her own murder and then convinces and then gets herself pregnant purposely in order to stay with him and ruin his life. That story is interesting because it's not presented as a murder mystery. It's presented, in at least with the movie, it's presented in a way that suggests she's not dead. So you know she's not dead, but you don't know why she's faked her death. When I saw the trailer the first time, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she's doing this to try and escape an abusive relationship. Her reveal as a complete and utter psychopath makes that maybe a common plot point interesting. But this, sorry, not interesting. The original premise, murder by allergies, was interesting. It was unique. Grabbed my attention. But then after that, each chapter grew less and less interesting. The characters fell flat for me. The storyline wasn't interesting. It wasn't interesting to the point I skipped to the end just to find out what happens before I returned the book. I wasn't happy with the ending either. Yeah, like if a book presents itself in one way, it should actually like fit in that way. So if you're presenting a book as a murder mystery or whodunit kind of book, well, you've got the whodunit part and you've got to try and work out who did it, but normally it's a murder, not suicide. So I didn't really get into it. She's got a sequel coming out using the same characters or the same setting. I do not plan on reading it. I didn't like this one. Don't plan on reading the next one. Honestly, like I would give it a 4 out of 10. The writing itself, decent. Storyline was meh. The characters were bland. The ending was frankly disappointing. So I'm being generous with a 4 out of 10. It's not even halfway decent. It's meh, and I'm glad I borrowed it from the library rather than forking out 20 Aussie dollars to pay for it from a bookshop. So I'm glad I borrowed it rather than paying $20 because I would have returned it because of how uninteresting. I would have sold it. That's pretty much it for this one. I wouldn't recommend it for enjoyment, and I definitely wouldn't recommend it for the curriculum because it ain't interesting. Yeah, so let me know what you think about the book. You can leave it in the comments down below. I'm more than happy to read them. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified of when I upload, hit the subscribe button. See you next time.